But there's no life in the Dead Sea. That's why they call it the Dead Sea. There's no life there. It's an inlet. But you know what? It's the difference between the two. And life shows us things. It's not an outlet. It doesn't feed into anything. It doesn't give water to anything. It only receives water. There are a lot of people, ladies and gentlemen, that are takers. They're inlets, but they're dead. They're dead inside. They're not giving anything. Their lives are salty, tasteless life, non-contributing life. They're the walking, breathing dead. How many of you know people just take and don't give anything back? These are miserable people. They're miserable people to be around, these takers. The act of giving makes you alive and able to sustain life. See, when you are going through life relentlessly, seeking out what service are you supposed to give, that you're supposed to provide, that you're supposed to bring, that's very important. Service is the rent we pay for the space we take up on earth. So decide now, whatever you have, whatever this is that you have in you, that you're going to give, and you're going to give like you've never given before. Why? It gives your life to give. It brings out more in you. The more you give, the more you realize you can give. The more you share, the more you love, the more compassion you show. What a time when we have homeless people. The time when we have young people who have no sense of purpose and direction. At a time when people are feeling powerless with all the massive layoff. And there's a mean spirit against people that are down on their luck. For people now decide that regardless of what's going on in my life right now, there's something I can give. Regardless of what's going on, that I showed up to do something. And I'm going to find a way to become of greater service to humanity and greater service to life. Now, what can you do, Les, when you have been telling yourself you can reach your goal, and you've been affirming, I am abundant, I am rich, I feel better than good and better than most, I am blessed and highly favored, I can make it, I'm a winner, and you losing every day. You reading all these prosperity books, you listening to all these tapes, and it ain't happening. You wrote your goals down, you've been concentrating on these goals, you've been going out there and you have no money in your pocket, you're talking about, I'm a rich child of God. Your mind say, come on, give me a break. Who you joking? What do you do when you've lost your spirit, you've lost your job, you lost everything, life been devastated? How do you do it? Come on, be real, man. Come on, get a life. You can't do that. You can't come back from that. Come on. How do you do that? Here's something that Larry DeAngelo wrote. He said, life is like a grindstone. It can polish you or it can pulverize you, depending on how you position yourself. Think about this goal you have. I want you to think about it hard, because here's what happened to that man that closed himself into the garage. He didn't believe this. This is some place that you can always retreat to and be in concert with yourself. See, when I started working on my goal, just starting 5 years ago, to go into a $210 billion industry, had no training in that industry, never did it, no exposure in that industry, wanting to become nationally known, not a celebrity, not some athlete or actor, no exposure to the market, but I decided that gives my life value and meaning. I love talking to people. I love making people feel good and making them laugh and enjoying themselves. I started out, how do you stay in the race, Les, when you knocked on doors and you were turned around and you lost your money and lost your car, had no place to stay, sleeping at people's houses, on their floor, on their couch? How do you do that? How do you handle the times when you were borrowing money and couldn't pay it back? You felt humiliated. When people you love who didn't believe in you and told you you ain't nothing. How'd you fight that inner conversation? How do you keep on coming back again and again? You don't know what has happened to me when your life has been destroyed with drugs or alcohol, or you've lost your business or lost your job or lost your home and you've been completely devastated. How do you come back? How can you tell me that there's a possibility I can come back? Oh, let me tell you something. All I want you to think about, whatever you want to do, whatever goal you have, whatever dream you have, it's to reclaim your health. It's to have your own business, to have another job, to earn more money, to have a better life, to travel around the world, to help out children, to make the environment better. Whatever it is, here's what I want you to stand on. This one statement, on this benchmark. Just say to yourself, it's possible. See, if I'd said 5 years ago, I'm going to make 5 years from now $1 million in 1 year, and I hadn't made $10,000, my mind would say that's impossible. Come on. So I think the reason that most people don't reach their goals, and many of the people that started out with me that gave up and stopped and they became frustrated, they said, I can do it. I'm not asking you to say I can do it. No, don't say that. No, no, no. I don't even want you to believe you can do it. No, no. That's not a requirement. All you need to do to get out in the arena of life is to say it's possible. How many of you know people who moan and groan and complain about life all the time, all right? They might moan and groan about their job. I'm sick of this job. I'm sick of you. And they just moan and groan and complain all the time and never do anything about it. They're sick and tired of being sick and tired. They just have enough energy to complain about it, and they consider that, in fact, they believe that that's equivalent to doing something about it, just complaining. No, that can't get you where you want to go. That cannot create your reality for you. The other thing that keeps most people from realizing their true greatness and their true potential, circumstances, their environment. There are many people who believe because of where they're born, because of the area where they are in life and where they find themselves, that's all they know. Given my circumstances, ladies and gentlemen, I shouldn't be doing what I'm doing right now. See, I know something about you, even not knowing you, that you've got greatness within you. You have the ability to do things that you can't even begin to imagine. You have talents and skills in you that you haven't even begun to reach for yet. No one could have convinced me, given my circumstances, given my background, that I would be doing what I'm doing right now. I was born in Liberty City on a floor on 62nd Street, a twin brother and me. When we were 6 weeks of age, we were adopted. When I was in 5th grade, I was identified as EMR, labeled educable mentally retarded, and put back from the 5th grade into the 4th grade, and stayed in that category until I got out of high school. I have no college training, but here's what happened. I had an intervention in my life. A man who saw something in me in a time that I did not see something in myself. I never forget being in his class one day waiting on a friend of mine who was there to rehearse for a play. He did not show up, and he asked me to go up to the board and write something on the board. And I said, I can't do that, sir. He said, why not? I said, I'm in a special education class. He said, what do you mean? Go up to the board and write what I'm about to tell you. I said, I can't do that, sir. Why not? I'm educable mentally retarded. And he came from behind his desk. He said, don't ever say that again. Someone's opinion of you does not have to become your reality. And that changed my life. It was Oliver Wendell Holmes who said that once a person's mind is expanded with an idea or a concept, it can never be satisfied to going back to where it was. So some of you are going to experience a breakthrough. Some of you are going to go back and look at your dreams and brush them off. Some of you are going to begin to look at yourself and say, hey, look, I've done all that I can do. When Buster Douglas was fighting with Mike Tyson and the odd makers predicted he was a bum and he'd be knocked out in about 1 or 2 rounds, I think that after he made it to the 3rd round, he took some of Mike Tyson's best shots. He said, wait a minute. Hey, Mike, it's possible maybe this next call might do it. It's possible this next job interview might be the one. It's possible. In spite of 27 rejections, it's possible that this might be the one. It's possible. Just maybe I can do this. That's all. That puts you on the playing field. You ain't got to hype yourself and psych yourself out. What it does is just keep you moving in that direction. That's all I'm asking you. Believe that it's possible, that you can make it. I like what Charles Allen says. He said, when you say a situation, a person is hopeless, you're slamming the door in the face of God. You're slamming the door in the face of God. There's no guarantee that because somebody is now down on their luck, they can never come back. Who can guarantee that you can't make it? That you can't have your dream? Who can guarantee that you can't do what you want to do? No one can do that. No one can predict that. You can't even do that. You don't know what the possibilities are for your life. No. All we need to do is we look at our dreams as we get ready to hit the floor. I'm blessed and highly favored, and it's possible I can get my dream. You go after that dream too. Don't go casually. You got to go out there like you want that dream. Don't go out here like these people. See, when you feel like you're blessed, you're ready to get into a good fight for this dream. You're ready to get down for this dream. You want your dream? Let me say, I want this dream if it's convenient, if I don't have any hassle, if I don't have to flip through any hoops, if everything's all together, if I don't have any opposition, if nobody works against me, if nobody tells me no, if I don't run out of money, if everybody loans me what I want and give me what I want and agree with me and support me, I'd like to have that dream. Ladies and gentlemen, it's not that kind of party. It's a party getting what you want, this dream you have. Say it's possible, and don't let nobody turn you around. Don't let circumstances turn you around. Don't let hard times turn you around. It's okay. Whatever you're experiencing, you know that this too shall pass, that you have the capacity and the ability to make it happen. You got a sense of entitlement. I deserve this, and whatever I have to do in order to make it happen, I'm willing to step up and to face life and grab it in a collar and say, give it up because it's mine. See, most people are wimps, ladies and gentlemen. They're tentative and they don't believe that they deserve what they want anyhow, so they convince themselves, I'm not supposed to have it.
Whatever goal that you have in mind, I want that to be a goal that will challenge you, something that will make you stretch. It was Osborne who said, unless you attempt to do something beyond that which you've already mastered, you will never grow. What is it that you looked at some point in time and you decided that you couldn't do it, that you talk yourself out of it? Whatever it is, bring it. How you're going to do it, that will come. So you don't get in life what you want, ladies and gentlemen. You get in life what you are, not what you want. And see, the good news is that we can always become more by working to develop ourselves. So the first process of making this your decade, you've got to begin to take a look at your life and look at where are you right now? What are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? What gives your life a sense of fulfillment, a sense of joy? What does a full, rich life means to you? What is it that you could love doing 7 days a week that'll bring a smile to your face? Think about that. In all the areas of your life, your professional life, your personal life, your family life, your spiritual life, what is it that you'd like to have? Once you begin to determine that, that takes you to the next step. And that is, once you decide what it is that you want, now you've got to decide that you deserve that. I deserve the best that life has to offer. I deserve to find my purpose in life. Find your purpose. Do you know by actively pursuing your purpose, it could perhaps extend your killer in this country? Of all the diseases we have, heart disease. It's the #1 killer. And if you ask most people, when is it that the majority of people have their first major heart attack? Some people will tell you as a result of obesity or smoking cigarettes or high cholesterol or high blood pressure. And all of those are contributing factors. However, the truth of the matter is that most people don't realize that the majority of people suffer their first major heart attack on Monday morning between 8 a.m. and 9 a.m. People getting ready to go to jobs that they don't like. Jobs that are making them sick. You see, when you're not pursuing your goal, you are literally committing spiritual suicide. Now, here's something else. You must be positive. See, a lot of people, when things don't happen when they want it to happen, they become negative and they turn out and start projecting a lot of negative energy. No, you've got to make a conscious, deliberate, determined effort to be positive. Because see, when you know within yourself things are going to work out for you, when you know within yourself that some way, somehow, you're going to make it. These are just some of the hoops you've got to flip through in order to get there. It's okay. Have a friend who went to get a job and the people didn't hire him. He was so negative. Well, they just don't have a job today. If you want to reach your goal and have a competitive edge, you've got to be hungry. I was doing work for a major corporation and they were having a major downsizing. It's just another terminology for major firings. The people that were working there, they approached them and said, for early retirement, we will give you a buyout package of $300,000 if you take it within this time frame. However, when we have the downsizing, you might be among the, and you will lose all of benefits that we're talking about right now. And the most you can get is 2 weeks severance pay. Ladies and gentlemen, only 50% of the people that were eligible took this. Let me tell you something. If I'd been there, I'd have gone to ask for your check. See, ladies and gentlemen, life is too short trying to play it safe. It's too short and unpredictable, being miserable. It's too short for that. Here's the thing. There's no safe position in life. Let me tell you why. It's a quiet secret that most people don't realize. You can't get out of life alive. Hello, you can't get out of life alive. So there's no safe position. So if you want to make this your decade, you've got to decide to be bold. You got to be bold in life. You got to take life on. I remember I was at a major presentation, and there were two guys sitting across from me, and the guy said to the other fellow, analyst, and that involved my firm and their firm, said, listen, looking at the credentials, this guy doesn't have any credentials. We have an advantage here. We've got 2 PhDs between us. I got up and I went in the bathroom and started talking to myself. I said, Les Brown, what do you care about their 2 PhDs? You have 6 children and a mama to take care of. And I went in that meeting, and first of all, I went there walking bold, looking good, feeling good, and smelling good. And I sat across that table and we started negotiating, and I operated in a spirit of absolute certainty. I looked at them as if the only reason that they were born was to give me that contract. They survived 1 out of 9 million sperms to carry out this transaction, and I got the contract. So you got to decide to be bold. Most people go through life trying to creep. No. Trying to be casual about it. No. You go through life being casual, you'll end up a casualty. No, you've got to be bold in life. You've got to take life on. When you have some goal out here that you're stretching for and reaching for that takes you out of your comfort zone, you'll find out some talents and abilities you have that you didn't know you have. I started speaking just to elementary school kids because I knew they didn't know what I was talking about. And they gave me all kind of standing ovation. Then I graduated up to junior high school and then to senior high school and then to various community groups and church groups and civic associations and then to colleges and to businesses. Now I'm traveling across the country and then traveling nationally and internationally. But I never would have discovered what I'm able to do right now if I wasn't willing to take a chance. And you've got to be willing to do that. You've got to believe in yourself.
When Buster Douglas was fighting with Mike Tyson and the odd makers predicted he was a bum and be out, he'd be knocked out in about 1 or 2 rounds. I think that after he made it to the 3rd round, he took some of Mike Tyson's best shots. He said, wait a minute. Hey, Mike, possible. Yes, maybe this next call might do. It's possible. This next job interview might be the one. It's possible. In spite of 27 rejections, it's possible that this might be the one. It's possible. Just maybe I can do that. That's all. That puts you on the playing field. You ain't got to hype yourself and psych yourself out. What it does is just keep you moving in that direction. That's all I'm asking you. Believe that it's possible, that you can make it. I like what Charles Allen said. He said, when you say a situation, a person is hopeless, you're slamming the door in the face of God. You're slamming the door in the face of God. There's no guarantee that because somebody is now down on their luck, they can never come back. Who can guarantee that you can't make it? That you can't have your dream? Who can guarantee that you can't do what you want to do? No one can do that. No one can predict that. You can't even do that. You don't know what the possibilities are for your life. No. All we need to do is we look at our dreams as we get ready to hit the floor. I'm blessed and highly favored, and it's possible I can get my dream. You go after that dream too. Don't go casually. You got to go out there like you want that dream. Don't go out here like these people. See, when you feel like you're blessed, you're ready to get into a good fight for this dream. You're ready to get down for this dream. You want your dream? Let me say, I want this dream if it's convenient, if I don't have any hassle, if I don't have to flip through any hoops, if everything's all together, if I don't have any opposition, if nobody works against me, if nobody tells me no, if I don't run out of money, if everybody loans me what I want and give me what I want and agree with me and support me, I'd like to have that dream. Ladies and gentlemen, it's not that kind of party. It's a party getting what you want, this dream you have. Say it's possible, and don't let nobody turn you around. Don't let circumstances turn you around. Don't let hard times turn you around. It's okay. Whatever you're experiencing, you know that this too shall pass. That you have the capacity and the ability to make it happen. You got a sense of deserve this, and whatever I have to make it happen, I'm willing to step up into face life and grab it in a collar and say, give it up, because it's mine. See, most people are wimps, ladies and gentlemen. Very tentative, and they don't believe that they deserve what they want anyhow, so they convince themselves, I'm not supposed to have it.
You have something special. You have greatness in you. I've been saying for a long time, you have greatness in you. And someone asked me, why do you always say that and emphasize that every time you speak? Well, I'm going to share with you why I say that. I said because based upon my own experience. When I think about where I came from, born in an abandoned building on a floor, I want you to see something that my friend Dr. Miles Monroe talked about. Rob the cemetery of your gifts. Had I not been willing to invest in myself, had I not been willing to change my relationships, had I not been willing to believe that I had greatness in me and was willing to experiment with this thing called life, to take a chance on me, I would have made the cemetery rich with Les Brown because I had so much in me that I didn't even realize. That's how I know you've got a lot in you you don't even know. And for 14 years, I didn't do it.
Bill Bove. They don't care, Greg. And so all this statesman, they don't care about collegiality. They don't care about the rules. Their whole deal was, hey, we want that thug on a federal bench. We don't want you guys ripping into him because we don't want it playing on television. So we're just going to shut you up. They showed you who they are. So guess what you now say? I am going to make you pay. I am going to bring this sucker to a halt. You shut it down. But no, they just threaten. And of course, when they got the power, they don't do it. Oh, no, our colleagues, we'll do the right thing. Hell no. I have long been saying you have to make them pay.
Yes, sir. You're right. And you're right. Of course, they can't. God bless Cory Booker. He won't. He's a decent human being. Chuck Grassley, on the other hand, a hard white nationalist, who is, I think his last birthday was 150,000 years, was being eviscerated in his home state of Iowa at the town hall. Know where he is most of the time, but who is functioning very efficiently as a tool of